Yesterday, we created a program using select options, and so these are the different fields. One is sign, another one is option, low, high. So these four columns are available in select option structure, and these are the different possible values in each column. In sign, we pass either include or exclude. In option, we pass different comparison operators like equal to, not equal to, between, not between, greater than, less than, like. Okay. In low and high, we pass the actual input value. Okay. In some cases, so when you define a select option, the input will be like this, right? Lower interval, higher interval. In some cases, we need to restrict the user not to enter range of values. Range of values, right? How can you do that? We still need select options. We still need to enter multiple selected values, but not the ranges, right? They should not give 1 to 1 lakh in a lower interval 1 and higher interval 1 lakh. We should not allow such kind of scenarios. We should allow only exact multiple values, right? It should allow multiple values, but the exact values we need to allow, right? If we need to restrict the user not to enter ranges but multiple single values, how can we do that? In the select option, we have an option called no intervals. No intervals. Now execute. Now you can enter multiple single values. Now you can enter multiple single values so that user can select only multiple single values in the main selection screen. Okay. How to make a parameter mandatory?
Using obligatory.
Using obligatory. But if you use obligatory, so what is the input we are missing? City, right? P city. Execute. So it's not providing a proper message about the missing parameters or the missing values, right? So we need to have a proper message for that. So how can you validate the
Valid.
selection screen inputs? We'll see that now. Yesterday we discussed about the events to control the execution behavior of the program. So what is the first event that will execute in report program?
Initialization.
Initialization. What is the purpose of this initialization event?
To pass the default values for the
To
selection
pass
screen
the default values for selection screen input, right? Why it is needed?
for default
You can
values.
automatically populate inputs in the selection screen. Okay, you can automatically populate inputs in the selection screen by using this initialization event. Okay, you can also write select statements here. You can also include select statements in the initialization event, right? To select data from the database table and populate as an input. Okay, that is also possible. Now, what is at selection screen event?
It is used to validate the selection
This
screen.
is to validate the selection screen inputs. Okay, this is to validate the selection screen inputs. So we should not allow the user to execute incorrect values, incorrect inputs. Okay, we should validate it and return with the proper message. Okay, how can you do that? For example, if I want to validate this parameter, I need to write like this parameter. If parameter is initial, what is the meaning of this statement? Is initial means
Yes, empty.
If it is empty, should we allow or not? We need to analyze it. Is that city parameter mandatory or not? If it is mandatory, we should restrict the user to provide that input. Okay? How can you restrict the user? So in which event we need to write the validations?
At selections.
We need to write the validation in at selection screen events. Okay? How to restrict the user? This is the condition we are checking. If this parameter is empty, what is the further action? We have a concept called messages. Again, we are going to take separate session on it. For now, just observe the syntax. Message, we can raise the message. We have different types of messages like status message, error message, warning message, information message. If something wrong with the program, if we need to terminate the program execution, so what type of message we need to raise? Error message. Okay, we need to raise a error message. How to write a error message? Message is the keyword to raise any message. You can raise the success messages, error messages, warning messages. So message is the keyword. Mention the message. Enter city within the single quotes. Type. This is also a keyword. Type is also a keyword. What type of message you wanted to raise? Is it success message, error message, status message? What type of message you wanted to write? If you want to terminate the program, right? If you want to terminate the program execution after some error, what type of message we need to write? Error message. Keep that in the caps lock. Okay, don't use lowercase message type. So always use E. E is for error message. What is S? S is for status message. If any success scenario, right? If you want to display message, then we use S. Is it going to stop the program execution? Error message will stop the program execution. So immediately when the error message is triggered, it will stop the program execution. What about status message? Yes. Is it going to stop the program execution? No. It will continue the program execution. It won't interrupt the program execution. Warning. Warning also won't interrupt the program execution. Information. Information message will display a pop-up. Okay. So we need to click on that pop-up to proceed further. Okay. We have other messages like A, about, and X exceptions. Okay. We'll see in a separate class on the messages. For now, just observe how to write, how to raise error message. What is the message type for error message?
E.
E. Now let's observe. I'm not passing any input here in the parameter. Okay, let me delete obligatory. Okay, now execute the program. It is displaying a proper message. Enter city. Okay, so this is how you can raise error messages for different parameters. You can validate multiple parameters within the same event. Not only one single parameter, you can also validate select options, right? How to validate select options? For example, let's take this employee ID. Add one more if statement. If is initial. Initial means what is the meaning of initial? Is initial.
is empty. Is
If
empty.
it is empty, enter employee ID. What type of message we need to write? To stop the program execution.
Error message.
If there is no input, if there is no proper input, we need to stop the program execution. Right? At that time, we need to raise a error message. Execute. Let me remove these values. I'm removing the auto-populated inputs which we are passing in the selection script. Sorry, initialization event. Execute. So it's going to display proper message, right? To pass the suitable input. Okay. If you change it to warning messages will be like this. Execute. I'm removing the available input. Execute. So this warning message. Okay. Warning message also interrupt the program execution. But when you press enter, it will proceed further. Did you observe that? Execute. What type of message it is?
Warning message.
Warning message. If I press enter, right, it will bypass the warning message and continue the program execution. Program execution is continued. What about error message? It will
It
stop the
terminate.
program execution. You cannot execute further. Whenever you raise an error message in the program, it will stop the program execution. You cannot proceed further. Okay. And when we use status message, yes. So when we use this message, when you need to report some successful event, right? When something is successful, you want to display the message, hey, this program execution is successfully completed. So such kind of scenarios, you're going to use status messages. Even though there is no input, it didn't stop the program execution. It continued the program execution, right? Since I'm using success message, status message. Okay, this is not suitable to report the error messages. Okay, is everyone clear? How about information message? I execute. I'm removing the inputs. Execute. So it is displaying. This is information message with a pop-up screen. How the program execution will continue? We need to press this continue button. Okay. We need to close this pop-up screen to continue the program execution. Okay. User interaction is needed in case of information message. Is everyone clear? Is everyone clear?
So there is a total of four types of messages, sir.
Six types of messages. Abort and exception is also there. Okay. Let me show you how abort message will work. Type A, abort message. Execute. This is abort. Okay. It will display a pop-up with exit button. It will terminate the program execution. Okay. There is another type of message for runtime errors. What is the type? X. This is runtime error type X. Okay, message type X. This we called as runtime errors. Wherever you see this red color screen in the SAP, right? So we call these as runtime errors. So we can check runtime errors in one special transaction code. So what is the transaction code? Observe here, before going to the transaction code, observe here, source code extract is there. Source code extract is there and it's going to provide program name. What is the program that is raising this runtime error that you can check here? And if you go to the source code extract, you can see the exact line of code where this error is rising. You can see these arrow marks, right? You can see what is the exact line. It is where we are raising this runtime error. Usually in standard programs, right? Sometimes we get these runtime errors. We also called as dumps. Okay. So we can go to the source code extract inside this runtime error to see in which part of code this runtime error is rising. Okay. There is a special transaction code to check all the runtime errors. What is it? ST22. ST22. This is the transaction code where you can check all the runtime errors. For example, today's errors. There is one runtime error for this. Yeah, there are four, but relevant to our program, there is one, right? If you double click on this, you can see more details about this runtime error, right? What is the cause of this runtime error, right? In which place this runtime error is rising, right? So that you can debug it, you can understand it. Okay. If you go to source code extract here, you can see exact line where this runtime error is happening in the arrow marks. Okay. When we are working in production support projects, right, we very frequently use this runtime error transaction code ST22. Okay. So whenever a system exception raised or whenever a dumps happened, we need to go to ST22 and check the runtime errors and understand the root cause of the issue, and we need to fix the program immediately. Okay. If you double click here, it will take you to the corresponding program. Okay. There is one more option, I think, ABAP debugger option, something is there.
So what is the transaction code?
Sorry,
Transaction code.
ST22. Okay.
Okay, fine.
ST22 is the transaction code for runtime errors. Okay. I'm giving overview of this validations and messages so that we can start using in our programs. Again, I'll take a separate class on messages and validations because both are important. Now, is everyone clear till here? Select options, validations, message types. Is everyone clear?
Yes.
I'm removing the parameter because we are not using it. I'll use error message for employee ID. I'll copy this program into a new program. I'm creating a new program. Select all. so that it will include everything. Copy into local object. So I'm copying the existing program into a new program. I'll remove all this. Whatever we are not using, I'll remove. Now, from how many tables we are selecting data till now?
Only one table.
Only one.
Only one table. But my requirement is to display output like this. Employee ID, name, city, salary. My requirement is to display the report output like this. From how many tables you need to select data? From how many tables we need to select the data? If we need to get this kind of output, employee ID, name, city, and salary.
2 tables.
Simple, right? Master data, these three are from master data table. These three are in one table. Salary, is it available in master data table?
No.
No, right? Then we need to select salary data from a different table, that is salary table. But when we are displaying the output, we need to combine data from the master data table and the salary data table and display as a single record or multiple records.
Multiple records.
One single record. By combining employee data and salary data, we need to display that information as a single record from both tables. Okay.
Yes, both.
Now let's open the tables first. This is employee master data table where we have employee ID, employee name and city. If you want to include, or maybe we'll take a date of join as input. Hmm. We'll take date of join as input, but in the output, we display only employee ID, employee name and city. And if you want salary data, is it available here? No, right? You need to get it from which table? Employee salary table, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
We need to get it from employee salary table. Let me create more records for this so that we can use it in our 104, 105, 107. Okay. Did we create table maintenance generator for this? No. Sorry. Since the foreign key is assigned, it will always check for the foreign key relation. I'm changing the keys to create multiple salary values. 105 is also available. Okay, I've created some records. Let's check how many records are there. Okay, these are enough for our testing now. Now, how to write a select statement? We have multiple ways of achieving this. We have multiple ways. First, let's see the basic functionality, how we do it. We've already created one select statement on one employee master data, right? What are the data we are selecting here?
Employee ID and employee
Employee
city.
ID and city. If you want to include name, you can add name. Okay. I'm removing alias names for now. I don't want to confuse you in this scenario, which are not relevant, right? I'm removing alias names, MP name, I think, right? Now, we're already selecting data from master data table. We are getting employee ID, employee name, and city. Based on which input? I wanted to select data by date of join, not by the city, right? How to do that? Change the select option, LV, DOJ, corresponding data element. I'm removing the employee ID. Or let's keep the employee ID. No harm, right? Anyway, we are using it. I'll change it to DOJ. I'll select data by date of join and employee ID combination. LV underscore DOJ, date of join. Okay. Now, instead of city, remove city because we are not using city. DOJ in corresponding select option. Okay. I'm removing this because we are not using city select option, right? I'll remove this obligatory and no intervals because I need to provide range of values, start date and end date to select the data, right? If you want to select records, if you want to select employees, join between so and so start date and end date, right? So I can use this option. I'll maintain the field label, date of join, activate this. Now, is it automatically populating any values here?
No, sir.
No, right? So my requirement is I want to automatically populate last 10 days date in the lower interval and 2 days date in the higher interval. Okay. My requirement is I wanted to automatically populate past 10 days date, right? In the lower value and 2 days date in the higher value. Usually, if we need to, if we allow the user to do it without automatically populating, what user need to do here? You need to count, right,
Yes, sir.
to find what is the date past 10 days date. You need to do some calculation and find out that date. Is it take sometimes or not? Sometime or not?
Yes, sir.
It is also not convenient for the user. Every time you need to calculate uh, uh, previous 10 days date. That is unnecessary task for him, right? If the functionality is executing this program for past 10 days date of join, right? Then we can automatically populate that input, right? How can you do that? S underscore doj hyphen sign. What is the sign we need to pass?
Include.
Include I. Instead of doing hard coded values, right? Instead of always moving forward, follow this approach. Define constants. Okay, constants. What is the behavior of constant?
Fixed value is fixed.
You cannot
Constant
change
values
the
are not going
flow.
to change in the program runtime. It is always fixed. How to define a constant? Assign some name for the constant. Follow some naming convention. For variables, we use LV. Select options S. For constants, we use C. Okay. C underscore. What is the value we need to pass here? Sign, right? Sign I. Okay. That might be include or exclude, right? Sign is not only one value. Okay. Or I'll simply take like this I. Type. What is the type of it? What is the length of sign column? 1.
One.
See, do you need to specify the length? Do you need to
Default is
specify the
one.
length?
Default one only, right?
Since default length is 1, you don't need to specify it. Okay. And you need to mention the value that is mandatory for constants. What is the value? I. Okay. Now, use this constant value instead of hard coded value. I'll also replace here. Follow this method. Okay. In projects, usually we do not use hard coded values in the coding. That is not recommended. Okay. Similarly, define one more constant. If you want to use exclude also, use one constant for exclude. C value E if you want to exclude the value. Similarly, bt type C. What is the length of it? I think 2.
Two.
Value bt. Similarly, for equal to, change the constant name eq. Okay. This is how we define the constants instead of using hard coded values. Now, sign is completed. S underscore doj hyphen option. What is the option we need to take? Between
Between.
lower value and higher value. Everyone clear about the requirement, right? What is our requirement?
Date of join.
So this is the expected output. Inputs are date of join and EMP ID. What is the date of join condition? Past 10 days joiners. I wanted to select past 10 days joiners. That means we need to enter past 10 days ago date, right? In the lower value and today's date. And doj hyphen what is the lower interval value?
Past 10 days.
Past 10 days state. How can you find that past 10 days state?
We have system variable.
We have a system variable sy datum. It's very, we use this very frequently. What is this sy datum? It contains the current date,
Current date.
current system date. Okay. If you go to system status, This is the system date and system time. Okay, this is the system date and system time. When you are working in the projects, right, this date and time is not going to match your current time because the servers are going to be maintained in somewhere else, right? Maybe US, Singapore, or some other country, right? It will follow the time zone. Okay, don't compare with your local time zone whenever you see the system time. Okay, system date and system time. It depends on the client time zone. Okay, you can also see more details here, like what is the database, backend database we are using, right? What is the host name, and all these details you can see here in the system and status. Okay, we can also see the current version. Okay, current version of this S4 HANA, you can also see that here. Okay, product version details, you can see this here. ABAP version, if you want to know what is the current version of the ABAP system, 75. Okay, so usually we name it as 7.5, ABAP 7.5. Okay, here you can check the version of the S4 HANA ABAP instance. Okay, now if you pass S5 data, let's check how it will populate. What is the higher value? Current date, right? Current system date. Append S underscore DOJ.
Sir, in the low we mentioned
That's
same, right? Current
fast
date.
to help.
Let's first see how this will
Okay.
take as inputs in the oh, sorry.
We forgot.
I got what you are saying. Yeah.
HIGH.
So it will display the lower interval and upper interval, but it's displaying both same dates, right? Current date 10.
Yes.
But our requirement is 10 days ago date, right? How can you do the calculation? Minus
-10.
10. Always remember, you don't need to worry about converting into months. Okay? It will automatically, if you mention 40, right? It will automatically consider it as a date and it calculates the previous month date. It will automatically go back to the previous month. Okay? You don't need to worry about it. 10. Now execute. It is displaying, right? 39/20/25 is the 10 days before date and the current date. So that user doesn't need to calculate, right? To enter the value. Sometimes what we do not take the current date, right? We take current date minus 1. That means yesterday's date. This is how you can do it. Okay. Now our selection screen is ready. There is no border here. There is no border here. We'll add some formatting option. Add some borders here. First, selection screen parameters. How can you do that? Selection screen is the keyword which will add the frame to the selection screen inputs. Selection screen, begin of block B1. B1, you can add any name, B1, B2, or any name you can give instead of B1. Okay, with frame. Okay, with frame and selection screen end of block. End of block. Okay, B1. Now check how it will. It is just a formatting option. Okay, it is displaying a frame, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now I wanted to provide some text here in the frame for the user as some suggestion or some inputs. How can you add text in this frame? With frame title. We can add a title to the frame. Okay, just for some formatting option, just to provide some suggestions to the user how to provide the inputs and all. Title, how can you provide the title? We have a keyword called text. We need to assign the number, text number. Usually text numbers will start from 001. Where you define this text, go to text elements and text symbols. Text symbols, we define text, reusable text. Okay, in text symbols, you can use this reusable text in the entire program. You do not need to hard code the text. Make it as a text symbol and use the text anywhere in your requirement. Okay, enter the date of join and employee ID. This is the text I wanted to display in the frame. Okay, press enter. It will automatically assign the text number and maximum length of this text. It will automatically assign the text number. If you want to, if you want one more text, for example, enter. We are doing some validation, right? Employee ID. Press enter. One more text. Text 002. We are going to create reusable text here. Instead of this hard-coded message, we can replace this with the text hyphen. What is the text number?
002.
002. Okay, instead of hard-coded text. Now here, the title we have already created 0001. Now check.
Sir, will the text message get stored in application layer?
Again, it is dynamic, right? It stores in the program level. Okay,
Okay, okay.
this text, just like code, code is going to be stored in the application level, right?
Yes.
Whenever you open the program, you can see the code. Similarly, the text is also going to save it within the program. Okay, but we don't maintain data in application layer
Okay.
because it needs huge space, right, to maintain all the system data. We just maintain only this text and program.
Okay.
Now check the input screen. It is displaying text in the frame. Okay. Similarly, you can create multiple frames. I'll change the frame block number because you cannot use the same. I'm just defining some test parameter. I'm not going to use it. Type C. I'm using same text. If you want to use different text, change the text number. I just wanted to see how we can use multiple frames. This is how it will display multiple frames. Okay. Usually we use this when you are creating selection screen parameters. Okay. Moving forward, we are going to use this selection screen block. Okay. Is everyone clear? I'm removing this because I'm not using it. Is everyone clear till here? Now what is our next step? Select the data from salary data table, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But when we need to go to salary data, only when some master data records are available. Yes or no? If there is no master data record for employees, can we go to salary data?
No.
No. Usually, without master data, there may not be any salary data record. That's why where I am going to write my next level select statement. If sub RC equal to 0, that means master data select statement is executed successfully. Then only go to the next level select statement. What is the input for our next level select statement? Salary data. Sorry. Yeah, salary data. What are the columns available here? Employee ID, salary date, and salary. What are the inputs we are taking in the selection screen? Date of join and employee ID. Can we use
Employee.
employee ID to select the employee salary data?
We,
But
we
this
can
is
do.
not the actual way. But in this example, let's see how we combine data. Okay. Our concentration is selecting data and combine the data into one single output record. But this is not the actual way what we use to select the corresponding records of the header data. Okay. Since we have input employee ID and that employee ID is available in salary data, we can take employee ID as input for the employee salary data. Select. What are the input? What are the fields we need to select? EMP ID, comma, salary. From which table?
MP salary.
Yum. Salary.
Employee salary table into. Since we are using inline declaration, you do not need to define type structure and work area and internal table. You can directly define your internal table here, right? But to combine the multiple tables, right, we need a type structure. Let's see after this select statement. At the rate data of LT underscore salary. What is the condition? Where MP ID in
In.
select option. We are selecting data from multiple tables based on the selection screen inputs. Okay, selection screen inputs. But there is another way where we select the header level data using selection screen inputs and we select next level data for the corresponding records of the header level input. We do not use selection screen inputs here. Okay, we select only data corresponding to the selected header level records, right? We select next level data for those selected header level records. For that we use joins and for all entries concepts that we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay, now I'm selecting the employee salary data as well. Now what do I need to do? Do I need to display like this? In one display employee master data, in the other display employee salary data. Check. If we unclosed it, okay, what are we missing here? Observe this error. Can you fix this error? Incorrect nesting before the statement end if the control structure introduced by select must be closed by end select. What is this error? It is saying the control structure introduced by select must be closed by end select. What might be the error here?
We write
At the end of select
C
statement,
sub value.
No,
we
it
need
is
to close
not
the sub.
mandatory, right? It is not mandatory. Subars is not mandatory. Observe the select statement. What is missing here?
Inside, if we
We form the
mention
tables,
select,
sir.
that
Into
should be
table, into table, right? Yes or no?
okay.
Yes, sir.
We are not using select single. That means we are asking to select multiple records, but we did not mention the table keyword. Check the syntax now. The error is gone. Sometimes it displays confusing error messages, right? Select statement looks good, but it is displaying some error message, right? So tables keyword is missing. Now activate. Now check the output. I'm automatically populating some data. Execute. Why it is not displaying any data? Execute. Why it is not displaying any data? Keep a breakpoint. Execute the program. F5. Select statement is failed. Why it
Failed.
is failing? What is our input? We are trying to select records between 3925 to 91025. Let's cross check with the table. Go to the table, enter the same inputs for date of join. 39, 20, 25 to 09, 10, 20, 25. Now execute. Is there any record available with this date range?
No, sir. No
No.
entries.
Let me change September to 7th. That means July. Execute. Now we got some data, right? Because all the records are before September 27th, right? That's why we are not getting any data, right? So what I'm going to do, the program, I'm going to change the logic. I'll make it 200 days or maybe.
Sir, irrespective of content, subrc got execute, select got executed.
Select query is executed, but it is failed, right? And it's not going to the salary data table, right? That's why it is not displaying anything.
Okay.
Or maybe I'll show you how this. Keep a breakpoint here. Again, I'm using 10 days data. F5. What is the sub-RC?
Four.
4. That means select statement is failed based on the inputs what we provide here. There is no data, matching data. F5. It is not going into this statements because sub-RC is not equal to 0.
Zero.
In this place, in this scenario, are we getting proper update after program execution? Just it is not displaying anything. It is blank. Then what user should assume? Is it executed? Is it failed? What the user should assume? And what is our
That means
task?
we should get the error message.
Error or some status message? See,
Status, yes.
whatever the date we provide, there is no records for the date. That is not an error, right?
But
Yeah. We
select
have to
statement.
inform the
We need to provide some message for the user. Okay. If sub-RC equal to 0, execute this. Otherwise means what is that keyword?
Else.
Else. Hmm. Message, no data available for the DOJ. Type yes. You can also raise error message, no problem in it. Now execute. So we are getting some information or some message about the program execution. It is successfully completed or not. Okay. Start using messages wherever possible. Okay. Now I'm changing the date to -100. Current date -100 days. Execute 0 to 7. Now execute. It is displaying the employee master data output. Close this, and it is displaying the employee salary data output. Is this what our requirement? Displaying two outputs?
No, sir.
No, right? We need to combine both records into one single record. Record from master data, record from salary, corresponding salary data. We should combine it into one single record. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
How to combine it? For that, we need one. We have one prerequisite. What is that? Define a type structure with combined data. In new ABAP, we have a different way in new ABAP syntaxes. We'll see that later. But the types, how to create a type structure, begin off ty underscore output. What are the columns required? What are the columns we wanted to display? Employee ID, employee name. What is the other data we need? Employee salary, right? I'm not using city. Why? That's not mandatory to use, right? I'm just selecting it. I may or may not be displaying in the output. Okay? I'm selecting it, but I may not display it in the output. That's why I'm not taking city here. Type end of ty underscore output data. We need to define one internal table for final output. What are we doing here? Creating a structure for the final output and creating an internal table for which one? Final output. LT underscore output or IT underscore output. IT underscore output. Type standard table of which one? Ty underscore output. So this is the output structure. Instead of this structure, you can create a data dictionary structure as well. Okay. WA output. Why am I creating a work area? Because you cannot directly add records to the internal table manually, right? You can only add through work area by using append statement. Ty underscore output. Now my output structure is ready. My output structure is ready. How to populate this output structure? We need to loop the data. We need to loop the data to populate the output structure. Which internal table we need to loop?
Yeah, internal table.
Type structure.
Type structure we cannot loop. So this is output internal table. This is empty. Can we loop the empty internal tables?
Empty.
There is no record because the loop is not going to work, right? So we can only loop the internal tables with records. So what are those two internal tables with records? In our example, employee master data and employee salary data, right? Only these two internal tables are with records. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now we have two internal tables. Which internal table we need to loop? Employee salary data or employee master data? Which internal table we need to loop? Simple.
Employee salary.
This one. Required.
Simple. Do this analysis. Tell me which internal table. Tell me what is the common field, common key between employee master data and employee salary data?
Employee ID.
Employee ID, right? Now tell me in which internal table you are going to find multiple records for each employee ID.
Employee,
Which
master.
one?
Master table, yes.
Can you find multiple records for same employee ID in employee master data? For example, if you take 100, so are you going to find multiple records for the same employee ID in employee master data?
No, sir.
No, right? Only unique record you are going to be find in employee master data. But in employee salary data,
Multiple.
you can find, for example, take this 107. How many records you have for 107? Three records for different
Records.
months, right? Now tell me in which table you are going to find multiple records for the employee ID.
Salary.
Salary data table. Now which internal table you need to look? Employee salary internal table, right? 1 is to n. Always remember, do this analysis. 1 is to n. The internal table with 1 is to n relation, that you need to loop. Because if you loop employee master data, you cannot capture all the records, all the salary records, because it will loop only once for the each employee. You cannot capture rest of the months records, right? Rest of the multiple salary records. You can capture only one salary record if you loop employee master data. That's why I need to loop which one? Employee salary data. 1 is to n. Don't loop 1 is to 1 internal table. Okay. Enable this. I'll define one work area dynamically using data statement. Salary. Now what we need to do? We are looping the salary data. First time, first record will be placed into work area. Now what we need to do that first record? We need to populate that to the final output. First populate to work area. How to populate to work area? Hyphen salary equal to WA underscore salary. Okay. This is the field what we have in the salary data, right? Yes or no? We are populating that column to the work area from salary data work area. Next, what is the what is the next data we need to populate to the final output? What is the next data we need to populate to the final output?
Employee.
Employee master data, right? Data from this table, employee ID, employee name and city. These details, right? Yes or no? Now how to populate it? Can we populate like this? Output hyphen MP. Here employee ID can be populated from both tables because it is available in both tables. Employee ID equal to, how to populate employee master data? Can we do like this? IT EMP data hyphen EMP ID. Can we do like this?
No, sir.
No, we cannot directly populate data from internal table to work area. What we need to do? First, we need to keep this master data record into work area. How can you do that?
Move corresponding.
No, we cannot process internal table records to work area directly here. First, we need to move employee record to the work area, corresponding work area, and then only we can move the data to final output. Here, what we are doing? By using loop, we are moving salary record from internal table to work area. Then only we are able to move that work area record to target output work area. Yes or no? Similarly, for master data also, to move that data, first we need to keep that record in the work area. How to keep the internal table record into work area?
Right. Loop.
Sorry? Which one? How to move internal table record into work area?
We use the right statement.
Right statement is just to display the output. What we are doing here, we are moving internal table record to work area by using loop statement
Loop.
for salary data. For employee master data,
So we need to loop again.
We need to loop it, or there is another alternative. First, see loop at lt emp data into one work area, define one work area. You are
So there will be a
dynamically end
work
loop.
area of salary also contains employee ID details, right?
Yeah, you're right. You can also populate employee ID here, but name that is not available in salary data, right? At least for
Okay.
that we need to loop it. Yes or no?
Okay.
And within the loop, we use this work area to populate the employee ID and
Fine.
employee name, right? What is the okay? We have taken employee name only. You can take different names also. That is possible. But for which employee we need to populate? Only this employee, right? Whatever the employee first we are looping, the first iteration. Whatever the employee salary record we are populating, same corresponding employee details we have to populate into employee ID and employee name, right? But if you loop like this, it's going to loop all the records. Yes or no?
Yes.
Not only that specific employee what we are populating in the first loop. Yes or no?
Yes.
Here what we need to use? Where condition. Where emp id equal to what is the employee ID we need to loop? The employee ID, whatever the employee ID we are populating in the salary data. Okay. Otherwise, this loop will continue for the rest of the employees also. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, after populating it, append WA output to which one?
Internal.
Final
Yeah,
output.
final work.
So this process will continue for the all records. Okay. This process will continue for the all records until all the loop iterations are completed.
Outputs.
Oh, not salary, right? Salary. Okay. Along with sal date, we'll also select sal date type. What is the type? It's a demo salary. I think I did not add salary in the select statement as well. Did we add? Yeah. Add sal date as well here. Populate sal date here also. Okay, it's IT, not LT. Internal table name is incorrect. Now, so how many times this logic will execute? Depends on number of records available in the employee salary data. Okay. Now this is the main loop. The employee salary data is the main loop. And what do we call this loop? Employee master data loop. Nested loop. Why we call this as a nested loop? Loop within the loop. If we are looping something within the another loop, what do we call that?
Nested loop.
Nested loops. Okay. Now activate it. Actually, we don't need to use loop here. We have an alternative called read statement. Okay. We'll see that later. Sorry. Now we do not need to display output from multiple internal tables. Just take one single internal table. What is that internal table? After loop,
Yeah.
after loop is completed, Which one we need to display?
IT.
IT
Output.
output. Now activate. I'm keeping a breakpoint. Execute. F5. Data is selected. How many records? Go to desktop 3 for better visibility. 7 records are selected. What are those employees? 101, 103, 10, all these 7 different employee records are selected. All are unique, right? Not repeating. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, employee salary data. F5, subar C0, F5. This is also successful. How many records are selected? 11 records. For few employees, employee ID records are repeating for different months of salary. Yes or no? For 105 and 107.
Yes.
Now, how to combine this data? Now, which internal table we need to take for loop? The records with 1:n, right? Relation, sorry, right? Then employee salary data is the suitable one to loop. First time. First record is placed into work area, that is employee ID 100, corresponding date and salary. And that first record values are populated to final work area. Now what we need to populate? Salary data, right? We are looping, sorry, master data, right? We are looping the master data table using a where condition, where employee, which we have already populated here into the salary data, that we are passing here in the where condition, but from salary data. Only that record will be looped. What is the tabix value in this loop?
3.
What is the tabix value?
3.
3. Why it is 3? Go to the employee data table. In which position this employee ID 100 is available? Third position, right? That is why tabix value is 3. Right? And we are populating the corresponding employee ID and employee name to the final output. Is it going to loop again? Employee data table. Is it going to loop again or only one time?
It's going to loop again.
How many records are there for employee ID 100 in this internal table?
Only
Only
one.
one.
Only one.
Master.
Then why it's going to loop again? We're passing the condition employee ID 100, right? It will loop for only one time because there is only one record for 100. That's it. Loop is completed. Then work area, final output work area is populated with all the details, and we are adding this work area to the internal table. One record is added to the internal table. Then F5, second record, second salary data record will process employee ID 101. Corresponding salary and salary date is populated. And again, we are populating the employee ID for 101. Corresponding values are appended to the internal table. For the third record, we are populating the data and appending it. So this process will continue how many times? 11 times. There are 11 records in the salary data. I'll keep a breakpoint here and press F7 or F8. It will stop here. Output internal table is populated with how many records?
11.
11 records with corresponding name and employee ID. Yes or no? So we combined the data or not? Both internal tables data into one single internal table or not?
Yes.
Salary data and corresponding master data we combined by using which one? Common column employee ID, right? As a condition. Yes or no? Here we are using that condition. Yes or no?
Yes.
Display the output. Okay? In final output format. Is everyone clear? So you need to practice. Okay, this might be little confusing until you practice multiple examples. Okay. Here we use read statement. Actually, since we have only one record for each employee ID, we do not need a loop. That we'll see in the next session with a different example. Okay, tomorrow we'll use standard tables example. Okay, these are simple basic tables what we have used till now. From tomorrow we are going to use standard tables like sales orders, purchase orders, delivery. This kind of data we'll see. Okay, please practice this. Please practice. Try any example. Take two tables, any two tables, and combine the output. Okay.
Sir, can you explain the overview of what we did, like
Yeah.
this step?
So we have taken a selection screen to select the employee data. What are the selection screen inputs? Date of join and employee ID. These two combination we are selecting, right? In the initialization event, we are auto populating date of join value, past value, right? So minus 100 days, right? And then at selection screen, we are validating the employee ID so that user cannot execute without employee ID. We are raising an error message. In startup selection, we are writing the business logic. First, we are selecting employee master data by using the selection screen inputs, employee ID and date of join. For the same employee IDs, we are selecting salary data as well in a separate select statement, right? Not in a single select statement, right? Now we got two different internal tables with data, but my output should be combination of first internal table data and second internal table data. Yes or no? We should not display two different outputs, right? We should display one single output with complete information. Yes or no?
Yes.
That is the reason why I am trying to merge both internal tables data into one single internal table. How to merge the internal tables? By using loop, we are looping the salary data, and for that to merge the data, I have taken one final output structure. Right? To merge the data, I have taken one final output structure with a list of fields what I want to display in the final output. Now within the loop, how I'm going to select the loop, which one I need to loop? Check 1:1 or 1:n. If this common field employee ID contains 1:n, then loop that internal table. Right? Now we are looping salary data and passing corresponding values to the final output for each record. For the each record, to pass the employee master data records, we are taking one more loop. Why we are looping again? Because to place internal table record into work area so that we can pass that work area record to the final output. After populating these values, appending each final output record into final internal table, and at the end we are displaying the final output internal table. Okay. To merge multiple internal tables, what is mandatory? At least one common field. At least one common field is mandatory. Otherwise, you cannot merge. How can you compare internal table 1 and internal table 2 without a common field? No, right? By using this common field, we are comparing and populating the final output. Okay? So in the next session, we are going to work on a different example. We are going to introduce few other concepts like read statement and clearing work areas and all. Okay?